What's up, YouTube family? Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday. Wow, today is Thursday. Jeez, I didn't even know today was Thursday. But anyway, happy Thursday, right? Anyway, how are you? How's everyone? I hope everyone is having an amazing day. I had an amazing day. It is beautiful. It's cool. It's on the cool side, but it's a gorgeous, mild day, and I'm completely enjoying it. And I just feel like, this I can if it could stay like this forever, like it don't get hot, that's what's up. Just mild. But we live in sunny South Florida. It's called sunny South Florida for a reason. So we gotta take it as it comes, right? Right. Anyway, I just wanted to, as I say, I was going to bring some content that is more positive in nature, but I also want to throw little components in there that would make it even more positive, because a lot of times we move in a positive energy, but we don't really know that there's certain things, certain words and different things that could give it like a boost, or it can, take away the momentum of what it is that we want to achieve, the energy or the frequency that we want to put out there so that we can manifest what it is that we want to be in our reality, right? So I just thought that maybe, it'll be a good idea, right, to start, speaking the language of opulence, right? Many of us know how to do positive affirmations. The I am presence of, saying I am this, I am that, just taking ownership in terms of commanding the presence of that I am presence of what it is that you are commanding to be in this reality, right? We're aware of that. But sometimes, because of conditioning, right? We are conditioned and we don't think nothing about it, but we are conditioned to speak a certain way, right? Not really, knowing the ramifications of what that energetically contributes to what it is that we want. And to give you an example, I put up a post on one of my social media platforms, and it just came to me. It just came to me out of nowhere. And, sometimes, we like to go and say, like, especially for those of us that we work and, we have jobs and stuff like that. We'll say, I work for so-and-so, or I work for, this person or whatever. But in an opulent state of mind, you're going to realize that you work for no one, right? And the only person that you would really like, if you had to say you work for anybody, it would be for yourself, because you're going to put in time, and you're going to exchange time for yourself. But you don't even have to say work for that, because what you're doing, it's not really work, it's an exchange, right? But we say work, right? Because it, that's the way we've been taught to understand it. But guess what? In saying that, that's low frequency in nature, right? Because it has an energy, to a certain extent, of some type of subservient type of, nature, that you're working for someone, right? Even when you're working for yourself, right? We utilize the word work, but when you hear the word work, this is how you know, like, if this is going to be a good thing or a bad thing, or the energy that comes along with it, right? When you hear the word work, right? How does it make you feel, right? Like, I'm going to work, right? Some people glad to, have a job, and, they don't really put that much meaning to the word work. But let's say if you say, well, instead of I'm going to work for someone, right? I'm going to work with someone, because in essence, you're working with someone, you're giving your time to whatever it is that you're going there to do in exchange for a monetary exchange, right? So they're working with you as well as you're working with them, right? But if you say I work for someone, that kind of sends a different energy, right? That, they are above you, or whatever the case may be. But if we change the tone and the value of what we speak in the way that we speak, and we speak in a sense of opulence, in a sense, is that we're exchanging our time. I'm exchanging my time to you for a monetary exchange. So I'm working with you. We're working with each other. We're both going to be benefiting, from the interaction, from the engagement. So now you're basically leveling it out. Nobody is better than nobody, right? And you're putting a different emphasis and a different energy into what is being constructed, or the partnership that you have with that person. And they want us in a state of mind to say that we work, because energetically it's low frequency, right? But if you say, I work with someone, or I instead of working for someone, right, it changes the whole energy dynamics, right, and the whole frequency. And it makes you feel better, because now when you say I'm working with someone, in exchange, for my time, they're paying, me for my time. It sends a sense of balance. It equalizes, the change, the interchange that we're experiencing with this situation, with that situation. So it's all about like what you say. And then also another word, to which I knew from a long time ago, when I first heard this, I used to think, I'm like, she done lost her ever-loving mind. But the word humble, right? When you come to know within your higher self what these words actually signify in frequency, then you understand that, these words are deemed as subservient in nature because of the frequency that it emits. When you say that. So when you say that you're humble, a lot of times people look at the word humble and it's like, oh, that's not a bad word. That means that, you're basically submissive. It's like a subservient type thing again, right? You're submissive to, certain, situations, or whatever the case may be. Instead of finding the equality in the situation, right? We become in a sense of subserviency. Now, we don't think too much of that in that regard, because that's not the way we are taught in knowing, the energy or the frequency that these words, that we say, what it really represent from a universal perspective or from a frequency perspective. But then when you get a grasp of it, then you start to understand that, okay, well, yes, I can see the energy. Because if we start to understand that everything is manipulated, and the major contributor factor is energy, it's frequency, then we'll be self-aware and self-analyzing how we speak, because we want to put out the strongest frequency out there to bring us back the return that we want to see in our human experience, the positives, or what it is that we want. We want the strongest frequency in high frequency to go out, not in low frequency, right? Because the high frequency brings in back the greater return, especially those that are of our desires, right, in that frequency. Right? So it's about our language. If we know the history of language from a spiritual perspective, even back in the mythological days, where we had Zeus and all of these, gods and different things of that nature, frequency was a very intricate part of knowledge and understanding, because they knew that was the catalyst, that was everything that creates everything, right? It's because a thought is a frequency. So, when you're thinking, everything starts from a thought. Thoughts become things, right? So, they knew the significance of that. So when we went from the ability to communicate telepathically, where everything was pretty much, revealed, to the point where we had language, which is a descending type. It's a descension from being able to commute telepathically. So it is a descension of communication, right? So this is when you start speaking the language now you got to be meticulous about the energy and the frequency that the language emits, because certain words have certain frequencies, and when we speak it doesn't promote opulence. It promotes lack, right? It's saying in the frequency aspect of things, because everything is frequency. So when you start speaking, you may think you're speaking a language that you're familiar with, a language that you understand, right? But you don't understand that you are also speaking a frequency, which trumps any type of understanding of the language, right? Because the frequency is really the truth that actually emits itself into the universe and brings back the return, right? The energy and the frequency, that is the power. That's what powers and propels it and brings it back to you. So now you start to become more conscious about how you talk, what you say, how you speak. You don't beg for anything. Like, you don't say, I wish, you say, I am opulence. I am abundance. I am, use the I am presence, right? Because it's more affirmative in what it is that you are putting out there. It's more solid. It's high frequency. You're not guessing. You're not putting in no guesswork. When we say I want something, that's low frequency, because you already is what you desire. You just have to believe that you are that, and that belief have to be the truth, and that truth have to emit a frequency in order to manifest it into your reality. But when we say I want something, you're sending a longer duration of frequency of uncertainty, and you're not really sure if you're going to get it. So that goes in alignment with more of lack, more so than abundance, right? So we have to know these words and what they really truly represent. And one of the key tell signs of how you can determine what is a high frequency, low frequency word is that when you speak it, how does it make you feel? When you say I want something, that means that you don't have it, right? You want it, you don't have it. So it's equative to the mentality of lack. But if you say I have it, even if you don't physically have it in your present, that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Because if you tie into that thought to become things, you know that you can manifest from the thought of it into things, and it comes into manifestation. So you have it already. You already have it. It's just that now you have to bring that into the material world, because if it's already in your mind, you can manifest it in the material world to be your reality, right? So that's how that pretty much goes in terms of us being more conscious about the words that we speak. And like I said, if we don't understand it, at a much deeper soul level or a higher sense of consciousness, just simply, how does it make you feel? When you say you work for somebody, how does that make? I work for instead of working with. Working for, sounds, working with sounds a lot better than working for, right? Having something already sounds better or feels better more so than saying that I want. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to, start to say, well, how does that make me feel? Because saying that I want something, that's promoting lack, because that's telling the universe I don't have it, and you're sending that energy, and that's what's going to make it a reoccurrence of you not having it, because you already saying that you want something that is in the presence of not having it. So you're basically affirming that you don't want to have it. But if you say that I am, and it's not about speaking in the mindset or the words of lack, and you speak in abundance as if you already have it, then that is when it will manifest itself into your reality. You have to be, I put out a video yesterday, you have to be the change that you want to see, right? I don't know who this is coming in my yard. I hope they're making a U-turn. You have to be the change that you want to see. right? In order for you to be a millionaire, you already have to have a millionaire mindset. In order for you to be a billionaire, you already got to have a billionaire mindset, because its origination is from a frequency of a thought process within you. So you have to already be living the experience here in your mind, and every opportunity that presents itself for you to live that experience into a reality, to more solidify that you already is that experience, you already wealthy, right? You have to do that. That's what creates the energy and the frequency to bring it into fruition, to manifest it into your reality. So that's the same as for words in what we speak and how we understand it. And like I say, just simply the most simplified way of understanding that is to say, how does this word make me feel when I speak it? And then you'll end up knowing what frequency it presents itself to you, and if that's going to be of a benefit to you or if it's going to be a detriment. Because if it makes you feel low, if you say it this way and you say it another way, and when you say it this way, it makes you feel more confident, it makes you feel more assured, and this one makes you feel more subservient, then you know that this is the way that you should say it, because you always want to exude confidence. You always want to have assurance. You want to already know that you are it. You are what it is that you want to have in your life, or that you desire. Even with the word want, right? We have to kind of like take that out of the equation of conversation, because it's about what you desire. And even the word desire, you know what I'm saying? But desire has a little bit more higher frequency than want. So, you just build yourself into getting to where you start understanding the language and the words that is associated with these languages, what frequency that it represents itself to be, and if that is actually hindering you from you achieving or manifesting what it is that you want, see, here we go again, want, but whatever you desire into your reality, right? It's, we're conditioned. So it's going to, take some time for us to really become more acclimated into something that, we take ourselves out of the conditioning aspect and putting ourselves into a different state of understanding, a different state of mind, a different state of being, right? Something that is going to be beneficial, to what it is that we want to manifest into our reality. We have to be very conscious of that now, because until it becomes a part of who we are, second nature without, thinking about it, right? Because we've been conditioned so long to move and to think and to talk, a certain way, and without really understanding what we're saying, why we're saying it, and how that affects us from a frequency perspective. It may, we understand it and we might think it's fine, but how does this affect me from a frequency perspective? Is it, creating blockages that don't necessarily have to be there? Because all I have to do when I am pushing out, what it is that I want to see in my reality, I have to be conscious about the words that I speak and the frequency that it emits as a result of it being spoken. So that's all I have to say. I know that it probably is a long video, but I just wanted to give us something to think about, because it's important that we understand everything. We don't realize, Tesla knew long before that if everybody thought from a perspective of energy and frequency, the world will be moving at a different, it'll be totally different, right? Because that is a true essence and aspect of what really truly fuels this existence and the manifestations that we want out of it. Because everything thoughts become things. As we can look around, it was created in our minds before it manifested itself into a reality, right? So with that being said, peace and love, everyone. If you like this video, it's like I say, those thumbs up, it's free. Those thumbs down, it's also free. But if you do do a thumbs down, put the constructive criticism into the comments, what you would like to see, what you like to know, what could be done better, because each one teaches one. I welcome that. And if you really like the content of this channel, subscribe, because I'm going to put forth an effort to put this type of content out there in such a mild way where it can be understood and I love dialogue and I love questions and different things of that nature, we're going to do it, right? We're going to manifest our desires, our dreams, right? In the right frequency, in the right energy, so that our return can come a lot faster than it is, right? Because when you know better, what? You do better. All right. So peace and love, and I shall commence to talking with you guys later. All right. Bye.